This week's flag is the European Union. Love it or hate it, France will always be 21 miles away from the coast of Dover, and the Republic of Ireland will always be just across the border from Northern Ireland. In or out of the EU is not going to go anywhere and is the single largest trading bloc in the world. With that in mind, after the 2016 referendum where Britain voted to leave the European Union and Brexit taken into effect in 2020, the government has just signed a new trade deal with the EU this afternoon in London. Ursula von der Leyen, who's the president of the European Commission, and our Prime Minister Keir Starmer talked to the press and highlighted a new way in which the UK and the EU are going to be closer together, despite the fact we're still remaining out of the bloc. It's a way of seeing a reset in our relations. It's a way of making up for the past negative elements of the Brexit trade deal. The key takeaways from this trade deal are the fact that suddenly it'll be easier to sell goods to and from the European Union. It'll be British travellers will not necessarily have to go into the others queue at the airports. They'll be able to use the e-gates, which should make border crossing more efficient. Students or young people under the age of 18 to 35, I think it is, in the trade deal, aren't under the obligation of leaving the EU within a 90-day period. So as it stands, after 90 days within a 6-month period, you have to leave the EU. You can't stay in the EU as a British citizen. That's likely to change, and it won't apply for young people who will be allowed to stay within the EU for about between 2 and 3 years to live and to work, which is great news for freedom of movement in essence. There's a few other deals to do with defence, there's a few other deals to do with fisheries, there's a few other deals to do with carbon emissions, but all in all, it seems to be a step in the right direction and a step in Britain re-engaging with the world at a time when Russia is causing more and more divide in the world, at a time where the American presidency administration is making Europe having to focus more inwards and outwards because we can't rely on the American ally like we used to. It's good to see the UK and the EU actually coming back to the negotiation table and agreeing terms to move forward in a more dynamic, more cohesive European way.